says here we should work in teams. I tend to think of myself as a one-man wolf pack.
You're about to enter information overload, a worldwide transmission with Her Parade's featured Breeder of the Week. Here's your host, Jason Rossi.
Welcome back to Her Parade, a weekly internet transmission. I'm your host, Jason Rossi. We're simulcasting on RossiReptiles.com, Buzzsprout, and don't forget to subscribe and download us on iTunes. This week's very special guest is none other than the evil morph god, Kevin McCurley, from NERD, New England Reptile Distributors. Just now before the show, the skies opened up, and it just let buckets loose on us, and thunder and lightning. Not sure if it was an omen or a sign or just the evil morph god's going to be on our show, but welcome to the show, Kevin.
Thank you very much. I like that intro.
Cool. Yeah, I try.
Yeah, but, sound great.
Awesome. Well, first of all, I want to just thank Rappy for shooting those videos. They're very informative. It's what the hobby needs, and we definitely appreciate you doing that, taking time out and sharing what you have going on. So we definitely cannot wait for Part 2 and Part 3 of 2012 NERD.
Oh, there better be. There should be many, many parts.
Okay, so you got a new book coming out. Is it the Eye Candy edition or something else up your sleeve?
Actually, yeah, I'm sitting here editing Het Red Xanthic. Actually, no, Het Red Stripe picture right now. Okay, I'm going to focus. Basically, so we take the first ball python book that I did, and then we did like little updates with the German. We did like 2 German versions, but now pretty much I think like the new book is going to be like the Never Complete or the Incomplete ball python, and it's going to be a pretty big change from the last book. The layout is very different. I gave it a lot of thought. I'm pretty excited the way it's working. I have I'm trying to basically think a bit in the future as, just in the past 5 years, how rapidly things have progressed. All the people breeding stuff, and they're just making, ridiculous stuff, and it's like, wow, we're getting inundated with so many different, combos and stuff. So we kind of need to organize it before it just gets completely out of hand. So I kind of redid the basics of how this book is going to go, but this is pretty much like a cookbook. I'm not going to really focus on how to take care of your ball python or anything like that. This is going to pretty much assume that everybody is capable snake keeper, and more. I really want to make it so we're bringing in new people, and I want to bring it down to simple terms that a little 12-year-old kid with this book underneath his arm can walk into a pet store. A lot of pet stores are now doing ball python mutations, and he can go, okay, I want this, and this is what it's going to do, and I want to kind of get things to progress. I think it's going to help a lot of the breeders out there. It's going to help them educate their customers. It's certainly going to educate the customers about what they do like, what they don't like, and what they hope to make, and that's kind of like the way it's going to be. But I'm really excited about it. I think it's going to be like 500 pages.
So wait, you're not from the future then?
No, definitely not from the future.
Oh, okay. I was confused.
Not at all.
So,
hopefully we're going to create the future here.
Awesome. You definitely are, man. You're leading the way, I'd say, with the Orion's balls. So
yes.
What do you say about that Orion ball?
It's basically an Inferno combo. I'll let that stuff out. Pretty much, I guess I like to keep people thinking sometimes. And I think I'll always have, let's say if I produce, 30 snakes or something like that of new stuff or whatever, I like some stuff I'll just reveal right off the bat. Other ones you kind of let people play around with it and stuff like that. And then as I make something else good, I'm like, okay, I'm going to let them know what this is. And I kind of keep progressing. And, if you talk to some of these breeders, you get all different kinds of people in this industry. You have, we get people that are just, really, really, just awesome. Hey, Cav, I love your snakes. As, they're appreciative and all that kind of stuff. And we get a lot of people like that. And then you get other people which are just, they kind of jump into this thing, hey, this is an opportunity, to cash out and stuff like that. I'm like an animal guy. I'm a snake breeder. The last thing I am is a business guy. And over the years, it's been painfully obvious that you have people that want to, they'll benefit. I've made a lot of mistakes. I do combos that don't work, or, it's a letdown, or this is really good, and all that kind of stuff. And I want people, especially my customers that actually buy some ingredients from me, I want them to be able to, benefit from some of the interesting stuff that I do. And I want it so when they're breeding this stuff, they have a market that they can sell their snakes to, and they can progress. The last thing I want to be is to be that kind of breeder that I make something, I get people interested, I sell the combos, and then I race around them, and I go and try to snag up all their customers. I think it's almost like a tier-type system. So if I make cool stuff, and then I instantly just give out always the ingredients to the people that maybe like, the haters of me, and I certainly have them, and, I'm kind of giving them the leg up, and they don't appreciate, those are the people, they don't appreciate anybody's work. So they don't appreciate what Mike Wilbanks has done. They don't appreciate anything. They're like, I see an opportunity. I'm going to get this morph. I'm going to breed it. I'm going to sell the male as soon as I bred it, and then sell the babies and cash out, raise another male, and blah, blah, blah. And they just have this, it's like this almost scheme, how to, build that way. And I didn't really come into it like that. The thing I'm going on about that is it shortens the life of our ball python breeding mutation game. And I think it's just, I really just, I don't want to see this thing just end and get burnt out, because pretty much ball pythons are it. They're the last leg of this. We're seeing some cool stuff in hognose and whatnot, but, carved pythons to a much lesser degree. But once we've totally satisfied a lot of these urges with ball python people, what's the next species we're going to work with? I don't really think there's going to be one. So I have to be a little cryptic is my answer. But the Orion is definitely an Inferno combo. It's quite nice.
I understand that, man. You work hard on something, you just don't want to give it away, and somebody just flub it up. There's a lot of people who like to flub up projects, and it's sometimes they'll get into it, and you get people that are like absolutely got a chip on the shoulder or angry, and they'll want to hurt a project or hurt you. It's just, boy, the stories we could go into are just amazing. But people definitely jump on the coattails of other people, and and there's jealousy and stuff like that. I'm jealous of other breeders. I see stuff, I'm like, oh my God, look at that. And it's like, I don't, sit there and trade in a couple souls so they fail. But it's there's a lot of cool stuff out there, and I think some of that jealousy is what motivates us. And just like anybody, I have some people I'm jealous of, like they're cool snakes, but I don't, literally hate them, but there are people out there that really want to destroy things, and they really kind of ruin it for everybody. Well, they just let you know that you succeeded. They're hating on you that much, focusing that much energy, on you, then, you've done it, my friend.
Oh, yeah. I hear all sorts of fantastic stories about me.
Well, I'm going to say you're the man. So, okay,
I don't know about that.
So, okay, most men aren't proud of a bald head, So tell us about that gene.
Oh, the bald head gene. Oh, yes. Okay. That is, I think this year is actually pretty cool, because there's all these little Dinker kind of things. I don't really know. It came out of something. Let's put it that way. And I started noticing, wow, a couple of these snakes, they're lighter, and they, let's say if you look at a spinner, so it's a spider pinstripe, and that's, pretty reduced. But we noticed, wow, this thing's head's really clean and all that kind of stuff. We kind of got it into, some of the bumblebee pin stuff. Ultimately, what happened is we bred it into a killer bee pin enchie. And so that's a super pastel spider pin enchie. And it just by itself, that snake is just awesome. I love it. It's very, very soft. It has very, very limited pattern. Real nice yellow with the enchie blurring. And I bred that to, just in one case, a normal female. And this was only a possible bald head, because as we start laying on these genes, you can't clearly, define, oh, this is literally 100% this. And this is right off the bat, some of my haters will be like, oh, on his videos, he's like, he doesn't even know what's in the breedings. He doesn't even know what's going on. That's like, I just don't want to be an arrogant jerk and sit here, like, because I'm going to sometimes think, hey, this is this and this and this, and literally I'm going to sometimes be wrong. And certainly as we start layering, 5 genes or more. So let's be a little bit modest here. We think it's that, but this is not an exact science. So when I bred this killer bee pin Enchi, which turns out it's a bald head, it's got the bald head gene, it started producing these babies that, like, you could do like a bumblebee pin, and then you can do like a bumblebee pin with a bald head. And it's like cleaner, and then you start making like Lemon Blast Enchi, and then you start making this Lemon Blast Enchi, which is cleaner and softer and brightens it up. And then when you really start noticing is when I made like a bumblebee pin Enchi that kind of looked like it was like a super. So as you start stacking these genes up, it has more pronounced effect. But it came out of something that I was doing when I was playing around with like Enchi stuff mixed into like bumblebee pin stuff. I cannot tell you exactly where it came from. And I think other breeders are going to be going through the same kind of thing. Little things, we're finally going to just start lining stuff up, and we start seeing an attribute that we want to work with. And as we're selectively, line breeding, we're naturally going to start hitting on the stuff that's within all of our collections. So I can't tell you anything other than the fact that it seems like it's a codom or a dominant gene, and it definitely pretties things up. And I've had multiple clutches of it, and both clutches the same kind of results. You make like a bumblebee Enchi bald head, and it's just a cleaner version than a bumblebee Enchi.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. If I remember correctly, in one of your videos you stated that all ball pythons, even the normal ones, carry, special genes. It's just going to take you figuring that out.
Yeah, well,
I remember that rightly?
Yeah, it keeps happening. This year, this is rather pathetic. I have this. It's like a Dinker female, and it's like this coffee-colored ball python, and it's with nice blushing on the side. And the thing that's really hard to discern, when you're looking through imports, and we're looking, king snake and all these different cool Dinker females or males or whatever, and they have all different things. We're like, oh, look at that. It's got this, and it's got that. And a lot of times you keep these snakes and you raise them and you breed them, and they don't turn out to be genetic. Occasionally we do hit something that is genetic. So I had this snake. It just looked cool. I bred it with the right snake, which happened to be like Lucifer stuff, and it turns out that it made the axe-like super version of Lucifer coffee, and that would be the equivalent of, let's say, like a vanilla cream. So it would be a vanilla fire. So if you bred a vanilla fire to a normal, all resulting babies are vanillas and fires. So I call that acts like a super. It cannot replicate itself. So this is in the same complex as vanilla, fire, disco, lemonback, sulfur, ember, Lucifer, and this coffee thing now. So I'll take some pictures, but what I'm kind of like afraid of is all of a sudden somebody sees a picture of it and like, oh, I got that ball python, and everybody's going to like, this is a coffee ball, this is a coffee ball. And it doesn't work like that, because I have other snakes that I could potentially say, yeah, that kind of looks like that too, and they're nothing the same. So then we have another snake, which is, this is the stupidest one of all. It's just a Dinker wild-caught female, and I did not go, oh my God, this is, whatever. It has like a line faintly across the back of its head. And I bred that to a chocolate combo, and that made a pretty cool-looking snake. It looked like one of those snakes that come out of Africa that's like black melted sides, partial dorsal stripe